So what we're going to do is look at these two. So these two are our dual primary keys, so they're very important to us. They will be a many-to-many relationship. So I'm going to start with them. That one. Okay, so my first one I'm going to do, remember to make it guided, I'm just going to have barcode has supplier of what do I call it? Subcode is supplier of. Okay, so there's our start. So our barcode here has a supplier and goes that way. We link them together. Usually if you say has something and then is something, it works pretty well. We then go to the object. Remember, this is your reference mode. Because these are already our field names, we're sort of doing it back to front. Whatever I've got here needs to match over here. So we'll call that barcode, and the supplier code will be, whoops, supplier code. Okay, once we've got that done, you don't need to do this one. Constraints, remember to hit rephrase. So barcode can have one or more suppliers, and a supplier can have one or more barcodes. It will be many to many. So remember, many to many is a solid line across the top. Okay, once we've got it created, I'll just get rid of this for a sec. They're going to be basically the two halves of your thing. So all my barcode stuff is going to here. I don't like that sitting there, so I'll just spin him around. Okay, so I'll try to space it roughly evenly. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Hanging from the combination of these two are these three things. So order date, quantity and purchase price. So this barcode, so whatever it is, packet of Fruit Loops, from this supplier, we got on this date, we bought 25 of them and they cost us $2.20. Okay. To make it a ternary, we need to group that together, so we go over here and click there. It sort of joins them, so they're like a combined thing. You can't take one away from the other. We then want to make an order date, and we simply make it manually, and you'll do this for the other two as well. So we'll jump on here, go to the properties. So it's called order date. Reference mode again is this thing, so you might have it slightly different, but generally you can use the same thing. Okay, it doesn't have a data type or a composition or subtype, it's just sitting out there in space. So it is this thing here. Remember, your bracketed bit is your field name. So usually we do this part first, work out what your tables are, and then you produce that in Access, but we're doing it ask about in this case. Okay, we need to put a roll box in, and then we need to join it up. So remember this one here, you go from the circle to the rectangle, same again, circle to rectangle, and they'll be nicely hooked up. The only thing we then need to do is go to the properties and go to the readings bit. So a barcode butter has order date of and is order date of. We also need to look at the constraints for that thing. So I don't think it's actually in here. No, it's not. Okay. Does anyone remember what constraints we need to add for this one? Where's the line always go on a ternary? So this is always many to many across the top. Where's the line go? It goes one side or the other. Who thinks it goes there? Who thinks it goes on this side? Who doesn't know? Thanks for your honesty. Okay, so we hit rephrase. So each order date has how many barcode suppliers? What do you think? So can an order take place on more than one day, or more than one order occur on one day? Yeah? Okay. This one though, a barcode supplier code can only have one date, so it would sit like that. And we go update, and our little line sits on that side. Okay? Ternaries are always like that. So this line, our uniqueness constraint, always sits closest to the nested part, the joined part. Okay? I would then go and do the same thing for quantity and purchase price. Up here on barcode, we would add these ones. So I need a product name linked to barcode. So I'll just go and make one. Because these are all binaries, it's much easier to use this thing. So barcode linked to product name. So barcode has product name of is product. Whoops. Product name of. Okay, we've already got our barcode linked up. Remember, our product name is whatever it's called here. So if I've called it prod name, you need to call it prod name here as well. We don't need the examples. Constraints, so remember, hit rephrase once. Each barcode has how many products? Exactly one. So you don't want to go to Coles or Woolies and scan something, and once it tells you it's a bunch of bananas, and the next time it's a can of baked beans. Okay, each product code can have how many barcodes? So can we have 2 lots of spaghetti that have the same different barcodes? Yep. Okay. All of these ones will pretty much look like that, unless they're a one-to-one. So some of them might be, but your line here will be on the side closest to it. Down the track, you'll realise that that means this thing is a primary key. And remember, we're doing it back to front. So you need to know that. So you would do the same as we did for product name with barcode to sale price, barcode to colour, weight, etc. The supplier one, we do exactly the same. So if I want to link the suburb onto my supplier code, I simply go and make another one. I want to be guided. So I want my supplier linked to my supplier suburb is suburb of, sorry, should be has there, is suburb of. Okay, we've already got our supplier thing in. We don't have our supplier suburb one. Okay, and then don't forget your constraints. So each supplier has how many suburbs? I'd say exactly one. Each suburb can have obviously more than one. So in an industrial estate, there'll be plenty of people supplying plenty of stuff. Okay, and that will sit down the bottom there somewhere. Okay, again, you can move these around, but realistically, this one will look pretty much like that. There'll be another 2 things hanging from here. There'll be, however many there are, 7 or 8 things hanging from barcode. There'll be 7 or so things hanging from supplier code. So it'll look like a big fan hanging off the top and the bottom and this one. Any questions? Okay, your basketball one will look similar. So you'll have your player stuff here, your round stuff down here. The stuff in the middle in your stats will be this. So a player in a round scored so many points. It's a ternary thing. Your coach one hangs off the round, okay? So your round stuff is here, like round 1 we played this mob at this place on this date. Your coach field will hang off there as well. Okay? That's probably enough. Enjoy the video, everybody.